Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. And thank you, Administrator McCarthy, for being here today. So, you know, we've got a big mess on our hands. We're dealing here with a law that was passed in 1872. Ulysses S. Grant was the President of the United States. And it hasn't been amended since then. And he did a great job, by the way, on winning the Civil War. Just a great job. I just want to compliment him on that. This law may have been appropriate for 1872. We were trying to get people to go out west. Colorado isn't even a state yet for 4 more years. We got to get people out there. We're trying to get people to populate these states. 1872, the law passes. 1876, Colorado becomes a state. So the law says, you get out there, kind of like the Homestead Act, we'll give you access to these mines for free. Now it's 2015. Some people say there are 160,000 abandoned mines. Some other groups say there are 500,000 abandoned mines. What's the revenue stream now to put in place in order to ensure that we don't see more accidents like this happening? We don't have a revenue stream. What we did in the end of the 1970s, beginning of the 1980s, we created a Superfund program, a program that was intended to deal with the worst sites across the country. Love Canal in New York State, Woburn, which was the subject of the movie A Civil Action, in Massachusetts, in my congressional district, and we put that program in place. But the mining industry, even today, doesn't want to pay for the minerals that are on federal lands. These are taxpayers' minerals that the companies believe that they should get for free, for free. Now, over in the House of Representatives, I was the ranking member on the Natural Resources Committee, and I introduced a bill saying that they should have to pay. You can't have this bargain basement giveaway sale any longer. We need a revenue stream so that we can put programs in place that ensure that we begin to work on the worst of these sites in a much more aggressive fashion. And that is something that you would think we could agree that is necessary 147 years later, after the law was passed, to deal with the mess, the obvious mess that's been created. So do you agree, Madam Administrator, that the revenue stream is just completely insufficient in order to deal with the magnitude of the problem which this incident demonstrates is just looming out there as a continuing threat to the environment of our country?
I think the President's fiscal year 16 budget and earlier that suggests that we need a fee revenue that is based on the polluter pays principle. That is exactly the same way that coal mines are treated and those abandoned coal mines are cleaned up, is the same kind of source that we need to be looking for here to be instituted by Congress to begin to tackle this issue more effectively.
And I would hope that my Republican friends could agree that it's time for us to put a fee on this. Giving it away, letting them mine, letting them abandon, and then not having a revenue source to deal with the mess that's created makes no sense at all. And I would hope that we could work together on this, although I found in the House of Representatives that it was impossible to find Republican supporters for something like this. But it does leave a kind of a regulatory black hole, you know. And the alternative, of course, that some Republicans continue to propound is that we should have a kind of a Good Samaritan law where we just kind of waive the rules, you know, waive them. And I think that whatever minimal set of laws we have on the books, you know, just can't be cavalierly waived, because that's kind of the last, you know, wall of environmental protections which we've got. So you've got to be very careful when you go down that route, but it would just seem to me that, I know that people don't like to hear it, but you need money. When you've got 160,000 to 500,000 abandoned mines, all potentially leaching into now a much more populated Colorado, a much more populated New Mexico because of those policies, that you've now got a danger with regard to the health, the air, the water of people who live near them, and it's time for us to do something about it. Thank you, Madam Administrator, for your great work.